it's Natalie. I am giving you a little bit of a tour today of my 5-year Hobonichi A5 diary. The reason I've decided to do this video is because, first of all, when I was looking at buying the Hobonichi 5-year diary, there weren't a lot of videos on YouTube to demonstrate the size, what it might look like after a year, or what kind of features it had, so I thought this might be useful for you if you're thinking about buying this diary or if you think about giving it as a gift. And also I thought it might help persuade a couple of you if you're on the fence about getting this or not, because I think this might be the best present I've ever asked for and that I've ever received. It's fantastic. I absolutely love my diary. So I have the A5 in this Search and Collect cover, so I'll bring it a little bit closer. The light's not amazing today. It's about 3:30 on an afternoon here in the UK in November, late November. But as you can see, it's kind of this herringbone pattern. And when I first got it, I was really worried that it would stain or that it would have problems kind of picking up lint or dirt or whatever. But actually, I've had it for 6 months now and it still looks pretty good. There are a couple of little stains here and there, but they are kind of adding character to it, I think. And as time goes on, this button is going to start to kind of get really nice patina on it. That's what really sold me on this, because I don't like leather covers personally, so I wanted something that wasn't all leather. And then inside, I've just got a little pen loop, which is very useful. If I show you, I'll just take this out quickly. Ooh, try not to set fire to my cover. But this is what it looks like out of the cover. So as you can see, this I presume says 5-year diary in Japanese. Unfortunately, I don't read Japanese, so please do correct me if I'm wrong on that. But here you go, you can see it's 2023 to 2027. And then down the spine, you have 2023, 24, 25, 26, 27, which is all the years that it covers. If you didn't have this in a cover, you don't have to have it in the cover, but if you didn't, then this cover itself would get a really nice patina to it as well, as your hands are touching it, as you're marking the leather. I just wanted to make sure that I kept it as nice as possible for as long as possible, which is why I put it in the cover. And I also found that this front is only a tiny bit, but that started to lift up and that worried me a little bit. I thought, oh, is that going to carry on lifting? And am I going to find in 2-3 years time that my cover has fallen off? And I was very worried about that. So I asked for this for my birthday and my husband very kindly purchased it for me. It's not the cheapest. I think it was about £50, but I will allow you to do your own research on the price of it, because you can find deals, you can find people who are selling them secondhand, that kind of thing. I would say I viewed it as an investment as well as the diary. So the diary itself isn't the cheapest, but if you look at it over a 5-year period, this and the cover, I think it worked out to about £15 a year max, which then if you work out over a month, it's like £1.10 a month for enjoyment, memories, creativity, anything you want to put in here. In the grand scheme of things, this is actually really good value because you're getting a lot out of it. It's really nice paper. Just going to shuffle that candle over. You can see it's quite cold in November here, so I put my nice fluffy jumper on. As you can see, you've got this kind of thick blank page to begin with, and then you've got the kind of classic Hobonichi front page. And I've actually done some creative collaging on mine. So I've got the quote, "Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans." Unfortunately, I was a bit of an idiot and I stuck this all down before I wrote the quote on it. So don't do that, learn from my mistake. But that's a lovely quote by John Lennon, and I thought that's really encapsulating what I want this book to be about. So this book is where I put everything that I can think of that has happened to me. So significant events, non-significant events, thoughts, random things that I'm worried about, things that I'm thinking about, things that people have said to me, things that I've seen, things that I've watched. Anything and everything can go in here. There's no limits on what should be in here. There's no bounds on what I can put in here. I don't say, oh, I shouldn't write that down. It does mean that I'm a little bit wary of other people reading it at times, but I think in a few years it'll be the kind of thing where I'll just go, actually, yeah, if you want to read it, you go ahead. And then here on this page I've just written a little bit about the fountain pen that I'm using in here. So the first line up here is the Ferris Wheel Press rollable fountain pen, and the bottom one is the Safari reloadable fountain pen, which is what I actually use day to day to write in it. It's a beautiful nib. I don't know if it's going to focus on you. There you go. It's just a lovely heavy duty workhorse fountain pen. It's fantastic. It does what I need it to do, and I'm very, very happy with it. The Ferris Wheel Press rollable, slightly less happy with, so I don't use it as often. But the key thing I wanted to do was to use fountain pen and fountain pen ink in here. So then onto the calendar page. What I've done with the calendar page is I marked off every single day that I've written in. As you can see, if I could take it a little bit closer, I've written in every single day so far. It's currently the 23rd of November, so obviously I haven't done today's yet, apart from these 5 days here. And that is because that is the week that we got home with our newborn baby son, and if I'm completely honest, I have absolutely no idea what happened in that week. So he was born in late February, and we were in hospital for the full week after his birth, and then we got home, I think we got home on the 6th, I'm not 100% certain, but we got home and we just lived in this absolute blur of newborn life for the week, and I didn't have a chance to even think about doing this diary, and that's okay. So I've just highlighted there that I've not done those dates. My husband did say, oh, are you going to go back and try and refill them or anything? And I said, you know what, I'm not, because that is as interesting to me later on in life. I've got the page dividers here. I don't really use them, to be honest, and the one that came with the original Hobonichi has started to fray quite early on, so I'm a little bit disappointed in that. I think the first page I want to show you, I want to demonstrate to you how I use this. So the first page that's really useful to show you is this page. I don't do this on every page, but this is just something I have done on this page. So I've written a little bit about the day here. So then over on this side of the page, I've just done a little collage of what I got. If you haven't seen inside of these, I'll show you one of the blank pages. So this is the 27th of November. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slots for your year. 2023, 2024, 2025, 26, 27 for this year. Obviously, if you're buying one this year, you get 2024 through to 2028. On this side, it's just gridded paper. It's got a little quote in Japanese at the bottom, but again, don't read Japanese, so I don't do anything with that. And I just either do what I've done with the collage, I leave it blank, or I do something like this. This is just a little creative journaling I've done with some poetry. On this one, I've just done a sticker that I made on my Cricut, put that in and just put a little commentary on it. Here we go. So I'll cover up this side because it's quite personal stuff that I've put on here, but on this page, for example, I had a lot of thoughts on this day, and I found it quite difficult to rationalise a lot of my anxieties with my little boy when he was quite young. So I've just literally just kind of brain spewed on the page, and I've gone over onto the other side and just carried on writing because I wanted to keep using that space. Obviously, you don't have to do that. You could. I have seen some people, they carried that along and they've written across the whole, the 2 pages. So they start here and just carry on over. I've also seen people who have made this a 10-year diary, which is really interesting. And what they've done is they've split this evenly down this side, and they've gone 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. That's too much of a commitment for me, but it does look really good, and I can imagine in 10 years' time when those diaries are finished, it'd be amazing. I got some new inks, so I've just done swatches of the ink on that day. Yeah, I try not to be too precious about it. We went to Birmingham to see Busted, and I bought some things from Muji, so I've just stuck those in. And the other things, I've been doing drawing classes recently, so I've been tipping in these pieces of art that I've been making. I'm a little bit worried about this per se and the tickets. I wouldn't do this every day. I've seen some videos where people have done a photo a day that they've stuck on the other side, printed it out with, say, their Canon selfie. For me, that is going to make this far too bulky. It's pretty bulky, but it's not too bad. If you can see, we're nearly at the end of November, so it's not too bad, but it is a little bit bulkier than I would like. So this is another example of where I kind of carried on over here, just because I had a lot to say on that day. So if you have a lot to say on one day, carry on to the other side, no problem. I just try and keep it within the bounds of that year, so to speak. Finally, at the back, something that I am currently wrestling with, because again, I just want to show you kind of how these diaries work. It has this at the back. This is a series of separate pages for each year that you have the diary. So 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. And then it also has this remember this page, which I find it a little bit odd that that's in English and everything else is in Japanese, you know, but fine. And then we've got a gifts page, which is also pretty much all in Japanese with the occasional English header. There's some personal info on that, but there's an addresses page, which is useful for some people, I guess. And then at the back there's a personal notes page, but again this is in Japanese, so I haven't filled this in. And there's a lists page, and I think this is the same as the favourites page in the back of the weeks. I'm not 100% certain. I did Google Translate it at one point, but you've got space if you wanted to do a big journaling entry about every year. And what I think I'm going to do about this is I'm going to type it and then I'm going to cut it and stick it in on paper, because I'm worried that I would start with January and I'd get to March down here and I wouldn't have enough room to finish it. So I thought if I do that, and if it is too long, I can then fold it over and stick it in, that kind of thing. But anyway, the real reason that I wanted this was because I was 7.5 months pregnant in January, and I knew that I wanted to document my life as a mum. I wanted to really remember these days as much as I could in the future. And I think if you're someone who's going through a big life event, like you're pregnant or you're planning to have a family soon, you're going to get married, you're planning to go to uni, you're planning to leave uni, you're planning to get a new job, you're planning to retire, anything, big life events, these are perfect, because in 5, 10, 25, 35, 40 years time I can look back at this and I can go, oh yeah, I remember when I went to that baby sensory class and my little boy really enjoyed looking at the light show that they did. That's not the kind of memory that I would normally remember, you know, or the time we first went to the pub with him. You know, that's all in here. You might not have a video or a picture of it, but you do have your thoughts and feelings on things. I've tried to keep this quite light, so I don't go into like current affairs or political things in here, but I do kind of talk about my feelings and my worries, so it'll be interesting to look back even in a couple of years' time to see how those have changed. I just think it's a really good investment. If you're someone who likes memory keeping, who likes planning, who likes writing, then it's great. It is a habit, you do have to do it quite regularly. I try not to leave it more than about 5 days. Takes me about 15 minutes to write each day. It is a commitment, but potentially it's a commitment that's gonna last you for a very long time, and those memories and things, those little things that you notice every day that you wouldn't normally notice, you know, the place that you go to that does really nice coffee and a good croissant that you then move away from and you don't know anymore, those kind of things, those little kind of elements of human life, with humanity in it all, I guess. That's what I think this is really valuable for. And I think it's a really worthwhile, good investment if you have the money, if you're looking for a Christmas gift for someone who is really into planning and writing and who doesn't have too many commitments already. I must admit, I don't know how people keep up with one of these, a techo, a cousin, a weeks, and another planning system, but that's me. But yeah, I think this is a really good option and something to have a look at. If you'd like to see more videos on this diary or on my planning system, I use a Hobonichi weeks, which I enjoy using, then let me know. I'm hoping to start uploading videos on this channel a bit more regularly. This is going to be the first video that goes out on this channel, but please do let me know, because I really enjoy sharing my videos. You can find me on Instagram, I'll link that down below. It's not as active as it was, but it is still pretty active. And if you like this, please do pop me a little like and consider subscribing. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about the A5 diary, please do let me know, and I'll see if I can answer them for you.